Hey, it's week 7. Happy Thursday night. We are back. It is SEC After Dark. And I think I've got double vision here. I'm not real sure, but Hammer and Boss Man are
Wow.
both here?
That's
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Get your binoculars on.
yeah.
Wow. Okay, anyway.
Flesh, baby.
That's right. Welcome back, Hammer. It's been a while.
Thank you. I know. Sorry. My picks aren't that bad though, so I'm not hiding. I'm actually doing so on the picks, but
I thought maybe you would. I thought maybe I
fort.
modeled the appropriate behavior for you being on the road of like just posted back in your vehicle, just crushing it.
Exactly.
Jeb will not be here tonight.
Okay.
He's out with friends and forgot what day it was.
That happens.
That sounds pretty reasonable, actually.
Yeah, understandable.
That
Is it
happens.
Legoland or
No, he's up in Nashville. Yeah, he's doing the Owen Mills thing.
Yeah.
He's honky tonking. Anyway. That's Stephen Willis, Mike Huseman.
so he's hitting
Jake
I don't
Thomas.
know, Aldean's bar or something on.
That's right. He's throwing. Hopefully, he's not throwing chairs over Morgan Wallen style. But
Oh, geez.
yeah. And then that's Hammer and Boss Man. Y'all ready for some lava? Let's get it. The random lava gets me every time. I love it. What's up, everybody? It is now officially the start of SEC After Dark. We got a lot to talk about. Red River Rivalry, Bama.
Say that 3 times fast.
I know. I'm surprised I said it without stuttering.
Shootout.
The first time.
Shootout.
Red River Shootout.
Yeah.
I want to call it the Red River Shootout. I don't know what they're calling it these days.
The Red River Shootout's in the same bin with the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, is it not?
It should be.
And the Civil War, Oregon State.
Yeah.
If it's
They're
not,
over.
it should be, because like that's one of those games. It's like the Red River Shootout. Just leave it alone.
And usually a shootouts between like high-powered offenses, but I hadn't seen Texas offense in about 3 weeks now.
No,
This
it's
is the
almost
Red
like
River.
they're coached by Bill Bryan.
Are you, Jake, talking about the unranked Texas
Yeah.
Longhorns?
Who was number one to
Is there
start the
any-
year?
Is
Yeah.
there any other kind?
Right.
You've been waiting since Saturday night to say that live, boss man.
Yeah.
My rundown sheet for tonight, I didn't write anything else except unranked Texas Longhorns.
That's
Hey,
the only
that's-
note you need. All right.
Only
All right,
note.
that's the show, boys.
Yeah.
Stream.
Good show.
that was the fastest a team that was ranked number 1 fell out of the polls since 1964. Who was the number 1 team that fell out of the polls? And it was only a top 10 that year.
Ole Miss.
That was Ole Miss.
No miss.
That's why you
Wow.
know that stat. Makes sense.
But by the way, I'm pretty sure about this because I went down a rabbit hole. I looked deep into this. I might have some interest as to why Texas dropped out fastest. But weren't they? I think they were only ranking the top 10 in the AP at the time. So it wasn't even a top 25. The AP poll like fluctuated.
Oh, it was only a top 10.
Yeah, it was only 10.
So
Steve, is this one of your trivia questions?
Yeah. So Ole Miss fell to
Well,
11th.
Yeah, well, no, Ole Miss ended up that year 5-5.
Mm.
So they fell way out. They might have landed somewhere around 70, but it warms the heart whenever you're this right about the Texas Longhorns.
Right.
Yeah, you put them on 8-4 watching. That might
Yeah, I put them. I'm sorry, I pumped sunshine on that because there's no way this team is winning 8 games.
I don't see how.
right now,
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you that one of the funniest pictures I saw on X after the loss was it was no contest football, I believe. Posted a picture that it was 0-0 on the score. Texas had just scored, and Shark is just doing this right here with his head down, just saying one. Get the field goal. I'm like, golly, that is so bad, so bad.
That's
well, you knew when they talked noise at Sam Houston that this was going to happen in Gainesville, right?
yeah.
That's a good
It had to go that way. Whenever Arch Manning is like going all swagger over some barely FBS cornerback in the end zone, come on.
Speaking of no context college football, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but A&M is wearing throwbacks this weekend, and some of the no context college football pictures for the jersey reveal ever. I think. I mean, check this out.
Wow.
In the Dixie Chicken, playing pool.
The old ATM on the helmet is nice.
I like that. I didn't see the helmet whenever it first got revealed. I just saw the stripes on the shoulders. I was like, oh, they're wearing the Johnny Manziels.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
the old Manziels with like the old ATM.
Yeah, jersey reveals have just gotten. I mean, that's a great jersey reveal. The Dixie Chicken's an iconic spot in College Station, but it's just so funny. We have to one up each other and do all these crazy reveals. Now, I mean, that's a throwback reveal, but teams are even doing a reveal for like their regular home, jerseys they wear every week.
Welcome to the age of social media.
That's right.
Yep. Every
We got
Thursday at
graphics,
7
everything.
o'clock. Yeah. Every Thursday at 7 o'clock, they do an Ole Miss one.
But Ole
Whatever
Miss,
they're wearing.
Ole Miss is doing a bunch of alternates. They do sometimes they're regulars, but most of the time,
lean forward, boss man. Now keep talking. No.
what am I talking about?
I'm turning you into Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mateer is probable. Do we want to talk about that?
I like that
I
guy's
think-
username too.
I think we have to talk about it.
Yeah, we have to talk about it. Oklahoma's in danger of throwing their entire season away for a rivalry game that they could likely win with Michael Hawkins.
But
How
the
do we feel about
Chipotle
this?
report was right. The Chipotle,
Yes, Chipotle.
cashier was
Yes.
right.
Forget Pete Thamel, forget Chris Lowe. It was the Chipotle guy that broke the story.
That's okay. I was having trouble piecing this together because I'm obviously following this not very closely. But Steve, when you put in the group chat I was like, what
The
is this?
tortilla presser, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what is I'm so confused right now.
Yes. Basically, it started to make rumors around Norman and all that Mateer was going to play against Texas. And then they got on the message board and it's like, no, it's not. That's not going to happen. Then the tortilla presser posted his picture with John Mateer from that Chipotle where they said he was reporting it. And it just took on a life of its own after that. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
I don't know how I missed that.
Big thanks
Yeah.
to Dr. Stephen Shin.
Yes,
Right.
which by the way, him Stephen Shin being a hand doctor, it feels like a missed opportunity, right?
True.
I mean, orthopedist, maybe he does shins too. I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm sure he does. Yeah.
I specialize in shit.
I wonder though.
It's in the
Steve,
name.
Just going off your point of, how he could hurt himself further, and they obviously don't want to do that. I wonder if he's like, I don't know, like, is he going to go out there for a series and just not have it, and they're going to go to Hawkins, or do you think he's like a full go?
I think he's a full go.
I think it's all on how he can grip
is-
the ball, right, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about how he grips the ball and how he lands when he runs. He's a runner. He gets tackled, and that opens up that thumb to being hit. Now they're going to protect it as best they can, but how do you protect that and him gripping the ball? I mean, it's weird. It really is weird.
It's a very risky move, like you said, Steve, because I mean they got a lot of big games, left on their schedule. So you
look,
need a healthy Mateer for sure.
I know we're not in the era, from a decade or so ago where we're putting bounties on people. That was bad. We should have been doing that. But if I'm Texas, I'm coming after him even harder than I was before. I'm sending people because if he's in there for a series or two, you can't stop him from coming and following through and hitting somebody on the helmet. I'm trying to get in his face every single play because if that ends up happening, like he's out of the game and he's their best chance to win, even at 75%. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
For sure. And that's going to be, how do they feel about that? What are they going to do offensively? Because they're going to bring that extra pressure. Like that's going to be what Arbuckle and Venables are going to have to talk about. It's like how do we protect Mateer from those type of things, or like not running him too much, not running him less than normal because they don't want him to fall, accidentally brace himself and just like the just the impact of the ground to that part of his hand right here, that could be detrimental.
Yeah.
And
They
the
need him to
answer,
run,
that's
though,
probably
'cause
a lot of quick passing game. Sategna, Kanak, getting those short, underneath out routes.
Yeah, that's the
where
crazy
he's-
thing.
Hey,
He's catching and throwing pretty much.
We might have a Jay Knott sighting.
What?
We might.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Hey.
been MIA.
Mhm.
Hey, quit crying. Do you have any Jaden Ott updates? We need PB&J and quit crying you lost to just kind of duel it out in the comments.
Oh, PB&J is not coming back after that Kentucky game.
No,
I thought he'd come back and vote, man. I
He
really
young.
did.
He will not come back after all the noise he talked. There's
I'm-
no
we need
way.
that boss man. We need that dude Andy in the message board. That dude was awesome.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, he was great last night.
And speaking of Kentucky, that gum Mark Stoops is like the best at getting a backdoor cover. He kills me every single time.
Son of
You
a
hush,
and-
Mike. I know.
And Kirby's
I
the worst
swear.
for giving it up.
I know.
Kirby,
Yeah.
Kirby just, I don't even know why I bet on Georgia.
Who was it last week that said they hadn't covered their last 8 games? One of us, right?
I think it was Boss Man.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Kentucky and Kent
Fuck.
State never in doubt those covers.
Never in doubt.
Yeah.
That one was so obvious. Obvious lock of the week. I don't know how you guys missed it, but just follow my picks. Just don't look at my record.
The lock, we haven't made the pick yet, but lock of the week is Auburn over Georgia. Money line.
Wow.
Money line. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm sure we'll talk about that game.
Yeah.
The
Oh, no,
ghosts of
hot
Jordan
boy.
Hare are coming out.
Yeah.
That place is so haunted.
Yeah.
On Cam Newton jersey retirement night. Come on.
Yeah.
I
Auburn's
think they're
not
gonna-
losing that game.
I think they're gonna suit up Cam Newton for one more game.
Probably
It's like the old timers game for what the
Yeah.
Yankees do. They're gonna do it with Cam Newton because the NCAA they're not gonna do anything about it. So
No.
why not, right?
Remember that Kirby Smart Alabama defense that was going on? Hugh Freeze loves going against it. That's his favorite.
It is his favorite, but he hasn't had any success against Kirby.
And they don't have any. Well, they haven't had any pass rush. Well, if you don't count 2014 and 2015, he had success against Kirby.
Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he had some success
When he was
Yeah.
Bama's DC.
DC against with Bama.
Oh, yeah.
That's when they
Yeah.
beat us twice.
I was thinking just head coach, but okay, yeah.
I will say though, Steve, you brought that up just briefly there. The Georgia pass rush. So, Jackson Arnold and really Auburn's entire offense has been pretty disastrous. But what A&M and Oklahoma did was get after Jackson Arnold, and Georgia thus far hadn't been able to do that. So maybe this is a good matchup for Jackson Arnold to finally show something, anything. I mean, a pulse. Is he alive?
Yeah. And the fact that they lost by one score on the road to top 10 teams, that's what we're freaking out about Auburn. That's what they've done. Now they get to go home against a team that's lower ranked than the previous two that they played.
Yeah.
That is struggling getting after the quarterback, which is the Achilles heel. If Auburn runs the ball, and Auburn has the dudes, this is the most talented team that Hugh Freeze has had. And they were one score away until Brock Bowers broke it open 2 years ago from beating Georgia last time in Jordan Hare.
I worry a little bit about Auburn because what they've really been able to do is run the ball, but nobody's running much against Georgia. Like they're what they're good at plays into Georgia's strength on D.
I think this you're going to see at least 5 deep shots to Cam Coleman in this game.
And if Ellis Robinson's in the game, that's who I'd go pick on. Like if I see Ellis Robinson on Cam Coleman, I'm like, okay, whatever play we just called, never mind. Go.
Yeah.
Because like Brazel put it on him, Isaiah Horton and Ryan Williams put it on him. Like it was, nobody could, like he can't cover anybody. All he can do is dive on the pile when it's already blown dead. That's all he can do.
Yeah.
So you brought up they only lost by one score on the road against two tough teams, but we talked about it. A&M shot themselves in the foot multiple times in that game. That game could have and should have been ugly. So Auburn's inability to find the end zone right now is, very.
But
very
it was
impressive.
on the road playing in hostile environments against programs.
Yeah.
They're going back to that place that was built on an Indian burial ground
Yeah, that's
against
true.
their hated rival. Hugh Freeze, one game a year, puts everything together and wins a game that he's not supposed to win.
That's
And
true.
it's usually one of these games that he's really focused on. Georgia and Alabama in Jordan-Hare, they are the ones that are circled and underlined and highlighted by Hugh Freeze. And I think after a bye week, this is going to be a real test for the Georgia Bulldogs.
I don't think you're wrong. That was not even just in Hugh Freeze's tenure, but over the course of the last 2 decades for Auburn, this is the time when they rise up and just shock everybody. Like, whoa, you look up at the score, on the bottom line on the ticker, you're watching something else. You're like, oh my gosh, like Auburn's either up by 7 on a team they're not supposed to be up on. And it's, it's a night game in Jordan-Hare. We all know there's a whole bunch of ghosts there the Prayer Jordan-Hare. You have A&M a couple of years ago with Cadillac Williams. Like A&M wasn't a great team that year. They were much more talented than Auburn. And they, with Cadillac Williams, they pull one out of a hat. So it's
that the Prayer Jordan-Hare and the kick six on back-to-back games at Jordan-Hare in the same year.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's insane.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. And my biggest fear as an Alabama fan is I can see Auburn having 5 wins and needing a 6th win to get bowl eligible whenever they play Alabama. That is my biggest fear right now.
Didn't that happen last year? They didn't get it.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the other game, I think Alabama's on upset alert too. If it even really an upset. But that would be 2 losses for
Stingray
Alabama.
called it.
Yeah.
Well,
that would be if Alabama lost that game, they'd have 2 losses. They couldn't lose again. They have LSU. They have to go down to that burial ground. You could be having Auburn going for their Birmingham Bowl annual trip, and then Alabama trying to get into the college football playoff in the same game. I mean,
That'd be an epic game right there.
Yeah, it would be fantastic.
Yeah. So let's make a pick on the Red River shootout first before we go anywhere. Let's make a pick, Steve.
On this one right here, I saw Florida pressure Arch Manning 33 snaps in the last game, and Florida's D-line is not as good as Oklahoma's D-line. I have a feeling that Brent Venables is going to have Arch in hell in that game. And Oklahoma, whether they play John Mateer, whether they play Michael Hawkins, it doesn't matter. Oklahoma's going to win this game.
Mike?
So I made this pick when I thought John Mateer would not play, and I did pick the Longhorns. Both of these defenses are elite. I think if I could pick the under, that's what I'd pick in this game. That's where I'm at pretty much. But
it's got 13-10 written all over it.
It does, 100%. Yeah. But I like I said, I picked Texas when I was under the impression Mateer would not play. It looks now like he's probable, so I may end up eating it on that one. But I did pick Texas for that reason.
To me, it didn't matter. I think Oklahoma's defense is going to control the day here. I'm not sure that Arch Manning's going to really be able to get any sort of footing because their offensive line is a joke. And when your offensive line is a joke, it makes things tough for any quarterback, Arch Manning, anybody. So for that reason, Venables is going to tee up, and he is going to come after Arch Manning. Whoever plays Mateer or Hawkins, or if it's a combination of both at some point, doesn't really matter. They're going to be able to do just enough to win a defensive struggle. I like Mike, take the under, but also if I have to take a team, I'm taking the Sooners.
And also on this one, is Texas not doing the same thing that Oklahoma did last year? The offensive line was in shambles. You couldn't block anybody. You have a 5-star quarterback that's massively underperforming that can only make big plays with his legs at the moment. And the defense is fairly elite. I mean, basically, Texas is 2024 Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's a great comparison, Steve.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. That's mind blowing. Like, this is how weird that rivalry is. They just literally swap roles, boss man.
Hey, who's got the breaking news little. Who's got the soundboard? I need a breaking news soundboard. Yeah, because Hunter Westmoreland's breaking news right here on SEC After Dark. John Mateer, his mom or his brother's mom or somebody else's mom, his cousin's mom, works with John Mateer's mom, and he's
What about
playing
Stacey's mom?
on Saturday. Stacy's mom. That's actually. Thank you, Hunter Westmoreland. That's awesome. Interesting and good news. So appreciate you bringing that on. For me, Mike is doing better than me in the standings, and I like the way he's been picking lately. So I'm taking the Texas Longhorns, the unranked Texas Longhorns, to. I don't think they're going to win. I think Oklahoma wins, but I think this is a close game. I think that it's going to be a 3-point game at the end here. The line's at 3.5, so Texas covers if it's a field goal game. I think we're talking 20-17, low scoring game. Even if Mateer plays, which according to Hunter Westmoreland, he's playing, he's not going to be 100%. And
the tortilla presser at Chipotle.
And yeah. First to report. That's right.
Yeah.
The over-under is 45.5 by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely under.
I'm going under on that.
Hammer the under. Yeah.
I'm taking like Iowa level.
24-21 hits the under. Hammer the under.
Yeah. Hammer the under for sure.
Hammer the under.
I'm taking Texas to lose,
the under.
Texas to cover. Give me the Horns to cover, Oklahoma to win.
Lucas, it's not an injury update, it's an availability report.
No.
True.
The nomenclature on that. All right.
Who's up? Hammer?
Yeah, Hammer.
Yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma as well for many of the reasons y'all stated. I think Brent Venables, this defense is nasty. They're going to be ready. I don't love the spot because, Steve, you kind of brought this up earlier. Like, Oklahoma doesn't need this game. They're unbeaten. Texas is completely back against the wall. But, I mean, from what I've seen from Texas, I just don't think they are going to magically figure it out this week against this defense. So I'll take Oklahoma to win this one and cover.
Jake?
Yeah, I'm taking Oklahoma. I just don't see, Texas doing much against that Oklahoma defense. And one pressing or one telling story that a thing I saw this week, Steve Sarkisian is 5-18 all time against top 25 opponents. And that is getting in range of one James Franklin. So when is he going to become the new James Franklin?
Fire him.
Whenever James Franklin becomes the new head coach at Florida.
That's a good point.
For USC.
Yeah, right.
That would be awesome. That would be great. That'd be great hire, Florida. That would be wonderful. You should do that.
It would be a good one. Yeah.
You should do that. All right. Now let's we talked about it, so let's go ahead and make a pick on this one. Georgia, Auburn, Cam Newton Knight. Steve, I'm pretty sure I know where you're at on this one. So do you want to, if you want to restate it, you can, but we know where you're at on this.
Yeah, I'll do the real quick thing. I lived through the Hugh Freeze experience whenever he was at Ole Miss. I saw this. The same person that could lose to Memphis would go beat Alabama in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And he had games that he was up for and games that he just didn't quite have right. He's going to be up for this game. They know what's going on. There's an A-bomb exploding around Auburn. You hear people talk, media personalities, one more loss to Georgia, all of a sudden they can crank up the Hugh Freeze needs to be fired narrative, and that machine starts going. Hugh Freeze knows how important this game is. Auburn is the most talented version of themselves probably since before Brian Harsin. Gus Malzahn was the last one that had a team this talented, which means they have the Jimmies and Joes to play with the Georgia Bulldogs, and then you have the Ghost and Jordan Hare at Auburn. It's a night game. Cam Newton's jersey's getting retired. Give me Auburn straight up.
Bold. All right. According to the graphic, everyone else is on Georgia's side, and I just think Georgia's going to be. I think Georgia kind of was able to get some things back, even though they let a backdoor cover in against Kentucky. They kind of obviously they took their foot off the gas, but I thought their offense finally looked like it was in a rhythm. And Zachariah Branch is electric. Chauncey Bowens is got to be running back number 1 there. He's going to be he's a tough runner. He's somebody that can kind of control the line of scrimmage. I worry about not being able to get after the passer, but maybe for at least one more week, Auburn's offense is going to be enough of a mess where Georgia can get a little separation and come out of this game with a win, which I'll take a 1-point win. I don't care. I know that's probably not going to be a cover, but I'm going to take the Georgia Bulldogs here because the point spread is not double digits, so we'll take that.
I'm also on Georgia. I mentioned some of the reasons before. Right now, Georgia's run D is really good. Auburn's running the ball well, but I think that gets neutralized. And for all the receivers Auburn has, they're 112th in the country in passing right now. I don't think they magically turn it on against Georgia and start throwing. So I'm going to go with the Bulldogs to cover this one.
All right, whoever wants to jump in.
We'll just go around the horn then. So I just don't. I haven't seen it from Auburn yet. Like Steve, I'm with you. They have the players to do it, but their passing offense. Georgia's issue is their passing defense, 13th in the SEC in passing defense. But Auburn so far has not been able to exploit anybody, in the passing game for the most part. Just a little bit with Cam Coleman in that Oklahoma game, but I just haven't seen it yet. So for me, I think Georgia's the better team here. I think Georgia's going to be able to get it done. Auburn also has not a very good passing defense either. I think that Georgia's going to be able to exploit that. They've shown that they can exploit that in weeks past. So I feel like Gunnar Stockton gets it right and continues rolling through the Kentucky game. Played well after the Alabama loss. I think he keeps it rolling this week, and I think they get it done in Jordan-Hare.
All righty, Hammer
Yeah,
time.
I'm on Georgia as well. I don't feel great about it, given what we just said about them not covering spreads. And Steve, you make a lot of very compelling points, but I picked Georgia on the spreadsheet, so that's what we're sticking with. I'm just going to bank on Jackson Arnold and Auburn not having an offense, and I think Georgia's a good team. They have flaws, of course, but I think they're going to come ready for this game.
Jake?
Yeah, I'm going with Georgia here, and it almost feels like it's going to be a must-win for Auburn, though, because you look at that schedule. Next week they got Missouri. I'm not going to count Arkansas out at all at home. They probably beat Kentucky. Vandy's going to be tough. Mercer's going to be a win for them, and then Alabama to finish the year. So, Auburn is almost in a must-win situation here, and they're going to come out and play hard. But I just feel like Georgia is the better team, and they're going to win here.
All righty. Breaking news. Jeb is actually on the recruiting side with Mississippi State. Jeff Lebby's here in Nashville. He's at the Antioch football game. So he's hanging out with Jeff Lebby.
Who's Antioch playing?
It doesn't matter. Their quarterback is being highly sought after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're actually watching Antioch, which is bizarre.
Yeah, that's the reason I just said, well, who are they playing?
I think they might be playing. I don't even know who they're playing. I don't think it matters. But I know everyone and their mother is on Antioch's quarterback, I think he had like 700 yards in a game, total offense earlier this season.
Yeah,
against a tomato can. I don't even know who they were playing. But
last week was Lane Kiffin doing his Middle Tennessee tour of recruiting, starting in Brentwood Academy.
Yeah. There's a couple good players at Brentwood Academy, which, not surprising. They were down for a couple of years though. They went 1-9 one year, which is really bizarre. Anyway, Bama, Mizzou. That's Steve's got that one on upset watch. This is going to be interesting because it's an 11 a.m. kick, and Bama just coming off of two highly emotional wins with the Georgia game and the Diego Pavia Bowl, and it's tough. I mean, I know they're super talented. I know Ty Simpson is got to be the front runner for the Heisman and all that stuff. But it's like, Jake, is it tough? Like, it's got to be tough to get up to this level for a third game because Mizzou are they?
It's only happened three times in the history of the SEC,
where they've gone on a run of beating 3 straight top 15 teams?
3 straight ranked teams. Yeah. And no bye week. It's only happened 3 times in the history of the SEC.
So Jake, is it going to happen for a fourth, and why?
Of course it is, because there's no team in the country right now hotter than Alabama. Let's just be honest about it. You know, Ole Miss is doing what they're doing, and Trinidad Chambliss is a freaking beast at quarterback. But Todd Simpson is the hottest quarterback in the nation right now, and you know, they are Missouri. They're successful in the secondary, and if Todd Simpson and the guys out wide, Ron Williams, even though he's probable, that's one of the big things we need to keep on the next couple of days. He's probable on the availability list. But
reports.
Yeah, you know, Isaiah Horton, Jerome Bernard. We still got guys out there. Josh Quavers has probably been very underrated tight end this year in the passing game. The biggest thing that worries me about this game is Missouri's pass rush. We haven't really had to deal with a pass rush like this since Florida State, and we all know what happened in that game. So that's the only thing that really concerns me in this game. I think if Alabama, you know, survives the early, you know, emotions and all that, with it being an 11 o'clock kickoff, being on the road, overall the talent level, even though they got some great guys on Missouri's side, the talent level is still pretty far, and Alabama's still got more talent than Missouri. And eventually, I think at the end of the game, Alabama's going to be on top because of that talent.
Yeah, what I noticed about Alabama's ability to stop the run, they really stepped up huge against Vanderbilt, because first quarter, 113 yards rushing against Vanderbilt, and Ahmad Hardy is the best the best running back in the SEC, and maybe
in the country.
Talk about him nationwide, right? And that's, you know, and you add in Bo Pribula's ability to run too, and that makes things very, very tricky and difficult for Alabama's defense. But they did show me the ability to adjust to that, and that's still, I mean, still though, that scares me a little bit because of how talented those two are as a duo. But again, this is going to set up like another, you know, kind of like how Vandy did, where Alabama's strengths match up with Missouri's weaknesses, like pass game, pass defense, and then, you know, but on the flip side, Missouri's strength matches up with Alabama's weakness. So it's going to be like, can Missouri run better than Alabama can pass on offense, if that makes any sense at all? But
no.
And we might be getting ahead of ourselves saying Missouri's pass D is a weakness. They're the 10th ranked pass D in the country right now.
About to say, third in the SEC, 141 yards a game.
They stop the run better than they stop the pass.
They're the number one run D in the nation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So,
and Alabama can't run the ball right now.
Take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Also take it with a grain of salt because their schedule, right? Like, who have they played up to this point? You know, Kansas, like, so.
South Carolina.
So, yeah. Right, South Carolina. Sure, South Carolina. Yeah.
Now, Steve, the most underrated aspect of this game, to me, no rocks.
No rocks. The rocks are gone this year, and that bothers me. The rocks needs to come back. They'll be back next year, I was assured. But I think, listen, you're going to give me 4.5 points to take Missouri in a game that I think the wrong team's favored. I'm going to take Missouri in the points all day, every day, because Ahmad Hardy is the best running back in the Southeastern Conference, and his running mate,
no doubt,
might be in the top 5 as well. They do an unbelievable job. Basically, Elijah Drinkwitz has created Cody Schrader again in that offense. And whenever they have that and get that outside zone and that stretch zone working with the running back, that offense gets really hard to stop. Look, it made Brady Cook look like a very good quarterback. They're doing the same thing with Bo Pribula. And as long as they can play some defense, it's going to be pretty interesting. Remember, Missouri is tied with like Ole Miss ahead of Ole Miss in home winning percentage since like 2022. They've lost like twice at home in that period. The last team that beat them was LSU, and the Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels, was the last SEC team that won at Faro. So the wrong team, I think, might be favored. Now, Alabama's good. I just think Missouri is the most underrated team in the Southeastern Conference this year.
When you look at passing offenses, just by the numbers, just by the ranks, and I know these things always have context, and that's not lost on me, but you look at Alabama, the number 2 pass offense in the conference versus number 9 passing attack. And then if you flip it over on defense, Oklahoma's number 1, Bama Missouri are your top 3 in pass defense. So it's going to be, then let's look at the running. Missouri's number 1 in rush defense.
Right.
Yep.
And number 1 in rush offense. So it's this game could be an epic slugfest, and Ty Simpson's going to have to come out there and win this thing for Alabama. He's been extremely efficient. He's been extremely accurate, and there's no question about that. I mean, super talented receiving core. So Missouri's going to have their work cut out for them in pass defense this week, and they've got to find ways to disrupt that, which they're 3rd in the conference in pass defense. So they have found some ways to disrupt that, but they just got to keep getting pressure in Simpson's face, make him like Simpson has a knack for holding on to the ball too long. Sometimes he'll take some unnecessary sacks. If they can just get the ball out on one of those sacks, that could be the difference in a tight game like this.
Yeah. So
Jake,
I talked a little about.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of outlined some of the defensive things before, but Missouri is the number 3 run D in the country. Bama was better at run D last week. They're still 87th at run D in the country. I think there's potential that Ahmad Hardy has a big game. Mizzou's O-line has played well. They're going to know how to scheme. Drinkwitz gets up for all these games. He's going to know what to do. I think this is an absolute heavyweight fight. So far this year, it's the game of the conference. I'm taking Mizzou at home in a nail biter.
Oh,
yeah, and also remember Kevin Coleman is probably the X factor in this game. He's the one that can ruin your day if you pay too much attention to Ahmad Hardy. He's the deep threat.
Mike, I'm with you. I'm high on Alabama. I picked Ty Simpson to be my player of the year in the SEC. I think that's still out there, and I think that it still is going to be out there after this weekend. I think this one, speaking of rocks, I think this one's going to be a rock fight all the way to the end. I think this one goes down to the last minute, truthfully. And because I think that Missouri's going to be able to run the ball in Alabama. Alabama, like you said, in the country, 86th or whatever you said, 13th in the SEC. In rush defense, 155 yards a game they're giving up. Ahmad Hardy, that rushing attack from Mizzou, 292 yards a game. Ahmad Hardy's running all over people. It's scary. 292, like that pops off the page. I think it's like 60 yards more than any other team in the conference right now. So I think Mizzou's going to be able to run it. They're going to be able to do some things on offense. But I think, Jake, kind of like you talked about, I think Alabama just has a little too much talent. They're going to be able to get some – I'm not too trusting too much of these numbers for Missouri's defense just yet. I got to see it against Alabama. And I don't think they're going to be able to keep Alabama at bay the entire game. So I think it comes down to the last minute here. I think Alabama escapes with a win, but I think it's like a field goal at the end of the game to win it. We're talking 27, 26 or something like that. You might have a heart attack. Hopefully not.
No, we ain't got a field goal kicker. That's what scares me.
That's true too. Better be inside the 30.
You're right. Yeah.
But that's where I see this game going. I think Ty Simpson leads a game-winning drive, kick a field goal at the end of the game to beat Missouri, but I think Mizzou covers.
All right. I think Bama's going to win by a touchdown. I think, I'm taking Bama here. I just think it's going to be a back and forth slugfest. It may not even be super, super high scoring, kind of like the Vanderbilt game. Wasn't super high scoring until they put that exclamation point on the end there. I think it's going to go similar to that for Alabama. I think it's going to be tied late. They're going to trade points, but they're going to win by 6 or 7, something like that in that game. And a quick update on what I said earlier. Andre Adams, future Mississippi State quarterback. Actually, I don't know where he's going to go because Georgia Tech's hot after him too. Imagine him in a Buster Faulkner offense, by the way. They're up 42-17 on FRA, Steve.
Oh, they're playing Franklin Road.
They're playing Franklin Road, who is one of the top private schools actually now. They probably weren't very good when you were covering Middle Tennessee high school football, but they're really good now, and this is an impressive showing for Antioch, just so you know.
Okay.
We'll say Bama, Mizzou at 51.5. This might be another game I take the under on. For the running, I expect that's quite a few points.
Has anybody not picked?
Hammer.
Well,
Hammer,
I haven't
Emily.
picked. Yeah, I'm. I don't have a whole lot to add. I think y'all really covered the keys to the game. But I'm on the pretty much the same page as Bossman. I think Mizzou covers, but I think Bama will find a way to win late because of the way Ty Simpson's playing. I think this is going to be back and forth. I think Mizzou's going to score, Bama's going to score, and it might end up being one of those who has the ball last type of games. And I'm betting on Ty Simpson pretty much. I think he's the difference in this game, and I think Bama escapes with a 3-point win, and Mizzou covers.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. So we're going to move on to our next game. Hammer and Bossman, since you're both here, I'm going to let you guys kick us off here.
Yeah.
Flo Rida, hot off of a massive win against the Longhorns, presumably saving Billy Napier's job. They roll into College Station to take on an Aggie team that's fresh off a 35-9 beatdown of Jeff Lebby. So bad that he had to go to Middle Tennessee and recruit this week. But just kidding. But it was an impressive performance, an offensive output that you guys were finally looking for, despite it being against Mississippi State, who has proven to be pretty good in this conference. Anytime you can do that against a conference opponent is good and has to make you feel a little bit better about their ability to play offense and Marcel Reed's ability to play quarterback. So what do we need to know about this game? Does Florida have a chance? Like what are we talking about here?
Hammer, kick us off. Do the honors.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I think you look at the last two A&M games, and even in that Mississippi State game in the first half, they were just really sluggish, off to a very slow start. So if that happens again, I think Florida absolutely has a chance. I do like the way that A&M has been winning games in different ways, whether it's a defensive battle, a shootout, or kind of what they did against Mississippi State, where it's a tale of two different halves. But what worries me, and I would say gives Florida a fighting chance in this game, is Dallas Wilson looked to make a big difference in that offense. And so obviously he was out, the first 4 games of the year when Florida went 1-3. Now it's just one game, and playing at home in the Swamp versus playing a night game in Kyle Field are very different. Florida thus far on the road has looked really bad offensively, putting up, I think 17 points between their 2 games at Miami and at LSU. So that gives me some comfort as an A&M fan. But, the way Florida ran the ball against Texas and what Lagway was able to do, especially targeting Wilson downfield, I think certainly gives Florida a chance, especially if A&M starts slow again and has a bunch of penalties.
I think, Florida changed a lot of things up off that bye week against Texas. And Texas was a little bit on their heels there early on with that Florida offense. They were getting the ball out quick. They had Dallas Wilson that they, hadn't had to account for the first 4 weeks. And he was a total wild card in that offense that Florida needed, a big spark. The thing that keeps me confident for A&M, though, is this defense is just playing ridiculous right now. They're off the charts. I mean, you've got Cassius Howell leading the SEC in sacks. Torian York is playing out of his mind, whether it's Scooby Williams or whether it's Damian Sanford at linebacker. He's playing very well. The back end was the big question mark coming into the season. And for the most part, they've played really well. I mean, they completely shut down Cam Coleman and that Auburn offense. They shut down Mississippi State, who has a pretty good offense. Like I think that Mississippi State team is going to be in a lot more games this year. I mean, I came away from that game thinking if they could give, and we talked about this on Biscuits and SEC Live last night, if they could give Blake Shapen just a half second more or just a second more, there was a couple plays out there that could have been touchdowns. And Blake Shapen would have hit those guys. But that defensive line is playing very well. And I think they're going to be able to affect the pass rusher. Elko and Jay Bateman right now are just calling up a great game. So I think Florida has a chance in this one. I don't discount it, but the fact of how the A&M defense is playing right now, they're doing just enough on offense to get it done. They've got really good weapons on the outside they can utilize. As Hammer mentioned, they can beat you in a myriad of different ways. You want to win, you want to play us in a shootout, we can beat you in a shootout. You want to play us in a rock fight, we can beat you in a rock fight with the run game. So that's the mark of an elite team. And I'm not ready to say A&M's elite just yet because they got to put it all together. But the final thing I'll say on it is penalties. A&M is terrible right now with penalties, averaging 75 yards a game in penalties. If this game was at the Swamp, I would honestly pick the Gators because I would say the Gators are going to be able to affect that offensive line, false starts, penalties. A&M's not disciplined, and they're going to be Texas State champs. But the fact that it's in Kyle Field, I think the Aggies get the win and cover.
All righty. Yeah, I'm this game is for me, it's I don't know what to do with it because Florida's defense, like we've said, is stellar. It's one of the tops in the country. It's one of the tops in the SEC. They just flat out get after you. They create havoc. I mean, it is that's what we're dealing with here. Mm-hmm. And Marcel Reed is somebody who he was good, and he's been good in spots, but I don't see necessarily the consistency that I want to see for me to really feel good about them moving forward on a consistent basis. And for Marcel Reed, if he can have a really big game, I think it'll go a long way into cementing Texas A&M as a legitimate playoff team and somebody that we take seriously, which in every other year it's Texas 8-4 for a reason. But Marcel Reed can change that against Florida and maybe put the final nail in Billy Napier's professional coffin, or just his Florida tenure at least. That's going to be something that's very interesting of a matchup. I'm taking the Aggies here because I just don't trust that Florida. I don't know that that was their Super Bowl. But I think Texas A&M wins by 10 on this one because Lagway is going to come back down to earth a little bit, and Florida's defense just really they're not going to be able to. They're just going to be on the field too much. So I'm going to take the Aggies.
One thing to mention on this too is this is a big measuring stick game. You mentioned Marcel Reed. Marcel Reed measuring stick against DJ Lagway, the former future quarterback of Texas A&M, and DJ Lagway has been playing much better lately. He played very well against Texas. But if Marcel Reed can outduel DJ Lagway in this game, I think it cements him as a quarterback who's in the upper echelon of the SEC, upper echelon of the country, and puts A&M in elite air of potentially going to the college football playoff this year.
Yeah. So one thing for me, like before, Steve was talking about the Hugh Freeze experience. We also might be in the Billy Napier experience now. When his teams are fighting for him and he looks like he's on his way out. It brought me one of the great top 5 lists of the week.
Yes,
top 5 teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
Florida when Napier has his job on the line. UCLA in the blue out. Clemson when Ludacris raps at 10 a.m. UNLV in the snow. And Texas Tech when oil is over $50.
I love that list. Peter Burns, you just man, that's awesome.
The Ludacris sponsor.
Yeah.
Hat tip to Peter Burns on that one. That was good.
Yeah.
Well done.
But that
Ludicrous.
It's the circle flowchart of Billy Napier. Like we might be at the top right now, like where they're beating good teams, and it's just the way they do. Like it's not sustainable. I don't think they can keep doing it forever. And eventually you're going to get bitten. He'll lose his job. It may even happen this year. But there's something about it. Like they rally for him, and I'll give him credit for that. I am going with A&M in this one, but this spread scares the hell out of me. 8.5 is a very weird number in this game. Like at 6.5, I'd feel really comfortable. More than a touchdown, I'm going with the Aggies, but I don't have much faith in that because both defenses are good. And but I am going with the Aggies, but it's a wing and a prayer on this one.
Could easily be like 27-20. You
know
what I mean?
Yeah.
Very easily.
Yeah.
And there's 3 things in this game that I'm paying attention to. First of all, DJ Lagway is from Willis, Texas, which is about an hour up the road from College Station, which means he is going to be completely jazzed up about going back and playing that game. He really wanted to play against the Longhorns last year when he was injured. He wanted to go back to that stadium and do that. So the want to factor is there for DJ Lagway.
Are you the mayor of Willis, Texas?
I should be.
He has a statue.
Yeah.
Yes. The second thing is this isn't DJ Lagway's team anymore. And if you treat it like DJ Lagway's team, you deserve what comes after that. It's Jaden Ball's team. If you hand the ball to him and try and run the ball and just consistently do it, you're going to be a better version of yourself other than putting it on DJ Lagway. The third thing is I don't know what Texas A&M looks like whenever they're down by 2 scores. That's what I want to see. Are they front runners? Because they are very good front runners. They can beat you in all kinds of different ways. But if they get down by 2 scores to a good defensive team, what does that look like for Marcel Reed when the other team knows he's going to throw the ball? I'm going to take A&M in this game because of the home team. They're ranked 5th in the nation, and I expect Florida to kind of bounce back after that Texas game. But those are the 3 things that I'll be looking for in this game.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll finish this up. I'm taking the Aggies. I just think that they're going to be too much for Florida, and Mike kind of stole my thunder. I'm just going to bring up that it needs to be studied on how good, Florida rallies behind, Billy Napier whenever his job's on the line because they just play out of their minds. And we'll see what happens this week, but I just think the Aggies is going to be too much for him.
One other thing, I'm sorry I keep butting in here, but I just keep – Steven, when you were talking about it, it made me think of it. One thing we haven't seen from A&M this year is the running game and the zone read attack with Marcel Reed. That has not come out of A&M's bag yet. And I frankly, they can beat you in all these different ways that we've talked about. They've done it in multiple times this year already, in beating you in a shootout, beating you in a rock fight. If A&M does get down, I wonder it could be a situation where you got to pass, but you also could do what you did against LSU last year and bring out that zone read. I think A&M is saving that for a special someone later in the year, but if they have to bring
wears yellow helmets,
that
has no ability to stop running quarterbacks, no matter how much money they spend.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I think you're right. But anyway, just to mention that, I just keep an eye on that because I don't know if it's this game, but if they need it, they may bring it out, and I would watch out for that in weeks to come because they haven't pulled it out of their bag yet, and it's there.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
Now let's keep this thing surging forward. We got some interesting games on the docket. Mike, your special right here, LSU South Carolina at LSU. LSU 9.5-point favorites. Mike, I'll start with you here. This one was tough for me, but what are you thinking?
If it was a 1-possession spread, I would have taken LSU, but it's not, so I'm not. The Gamecocks have played pretty well their last 2 games, and they're coming off of a bye. I think they're going to be balanced enough on offense, and on defense, they've been very good at getting after the passer, and Nussmeier's looked shaky and not healthy so far this year. So I think this is another game where we don't see a lot of points. In several of the Gamecock games, several of the LSU games, we've not seen their offenses look great. I think that continues. And at 9.5, I'm going with the Gamecocks to cover that one on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to regret picking LSU, but just something about that defense just makes me think they're going to just create enough separation to win by 10 points. Again, barely get the cover, maybe get a pick 6 somewhere. I just don't. What it came down to me is I just don't trust Mike Shula's play calling, truthfully. I don't think he's going to put them in good enough position to make this upset. I may regret it because Nussmeier's banged up and this LSU team is I guess you could say they're reeling. I don't know if you could really classify that as them reeling coming off of a loss against Ole Miss in the manner in which they lost, but they did have a bye week in between this. So I don't really know where to go with this. I'm going to take the Tigers, though.
I do think whoever loses this game really is in danger of spinning and the rest of their season going down in flames. Because both of these teams a third loss for the Gamecocks, another one for LSU, they would both be figuring our season's a disaster if they lose this one.
Yeah.
And also, LSU's playing the one team in the conference that might have a worse running offense than they do.
Yeah.
South Carolina struggled to run the ball, and that's not something that's going to help you with that LSU defense.
That's actually a fact. LSU's ranked 15th, South Carolina 16th. So there you go.
Yeah, and if Lenora Sellers is a one-dimensional quarterback with that defense, I don't know how South Carolina is going to score. And that's the reason that I took LSU at home. I think this is a game that they win 24-7. I think the score line looks like that when it's all said and done.
All right. Jake?
I don't know if they can pull the upset, but I think they can cover, and I'm taking South Carolina. I just don't trust that LSU offense to score a lot of points. Of course, I don't really know what South Carolina can do offensively yet either. But with Nussmeier hurt, and it seems like Lenore Sellers is kind of getting into his groove a little bit, I think he can keep it close. So I'm going to take South Carolina to cover, but LSU probably end up winning.
I've got South Carolina to cover too. I'm with you, Jake. I'm not ready to pick them outright, but I think I got two things on my mind in this game. One, the game last year was garbage. South Carolina should have won that game, so they're going to be out for revenge. The second point I thought was a great point. Brought up on our show last night by Emily Grace McWhorter from Cover Crimson and Alabama.
Yeah.
But she brought up the Bama South Carolina game last year, where South Carolina had lost a couple games early, was going on the road. Nobody thought they were any good, and then they had Alabama, and ultimately didn't get it done on that 2-point conversion overthrow, but they were right there. And I could see that happening again here, because we've talked a lot about LSU struggles on offense. I don't see them really being able to pull away in this game. And so I think South Carolina, they fight for Shane Beamer, and they're a desperate team. So again, I don't know if I'm not brave enough to pick them outright, but I do think 9.5 is too much. So give me the Gamecocks to cover.
This one's a tough one to pick. That 9.5 line is tough because LSU's offense, you guys have all said it, like it's just been anemic through the first few weeks of the season, and way off what we thought it was going to be preseason. But I just look at this one. I think, Corey, I'm with you. I think I'm going to regret picking LSU. But the reason this line is at 9.5 is because this is in Baton Rouge at night, right? And the only team that kicks LSU in the teeth in Baton Rouge at night at Tiger Stadium is Alabama.
Right.
And so I just don't think, and from what I've seen so far this year with South Carolina, I just don't think they're very good, to be honest with you. Like they've shown a couple flashes. Lenora Sellers is a good quarterback. He's shown some flashes. He's had a couple good games through the air. But this LSU defense is salty. This is the best LSU defense they've had in a long time, both in the passing game and in the rushing game. So, Steve, I'm kind of with you. I think this LSU defense is just too good. I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to score many points. So I think this is kind of like a 20-10 type of game, maybe a 26-13 type of game, something like that. Not a high-scoring game, but I just don't think South Carolina's got enough offense to cover the spread at night in Tiger Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are forgetting about Beamer ball. They don't need offense to score in South Carolina. All right, special teams and defense.
That's right.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just don't see it against LSU in Baton Rouge at night.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with Steve here. I don't think South Carolina's going to be able to score. So, Arkansas, Tennessee. That's an intriguing one. First game of the Bobby Petrino era. Did everybody pick fire up that Harley? No.
He needs to come out in a net brace this week.
Yeah. It would be Hogs by 90 if he coached on the sidelines that way.
Oh my gosh.
Hogs by 180.
Yeah. I want him in a Vader mask and a neck brace.
Yes.
Walking off the bus in that, man, that would be hashtag content. That'd be good.
Wait. What if you had the Hogs versus a Hurricane? Well, what if the Hurricane is Hurricane Petrino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trick question. Everybody.
Yeah.
The Bears.
The Hogs. The
Mhm.
Hogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. This one's intriguing. Tennessee's 13.5-point favorites at home. I'll go ahead and kick this one off. I like the Vols here. Just I have no real good reason why I like the Vols here to cover. I'll be honest, but I just feel like Arkansas is they're just I don't know what they're just kind of fluttering. But Taylor Green is one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in this league. But I just think Tennessee's just going to be too much for him. Aguilar is extremely efficient and accurate, and I think that's going to mean something. The Hogs can't play defense at all. And here we go. Give me the Vols.
Okay. I might be the only one on Arkansas in this one. I like the Hogs to cover. I'm picking the points, not the teams here. 13.5 is too much for me. Both of these defenses are atrocious. But in looking at this one, and Wayne, the dead cat bounce, I think Arkansas shows some life with Petrino, but the Hogs are 18 in passing defense or passing offense, and I think 21 in rushing offense. Tennessee's pass D is 115th. That's not good. So I think Tennessee probably wins, but similar to their game with Mississippi State a couple weeks ago, I think both these teams are scoring in the 30s or 40s this game, and I don't see it being a 2-touchdown margin at the end. So I'm going with the Hogs to cover.
Okay. Next.
I'll go. Go ahead, Hammer.
Sorry,
No.
Corey, I've got a similar thought process to you, and that is that I don't think Arkansas firing Travis Williams and a couple of other defensive staffers suddenly fixes their defense, and Tennessee will really challenge them vertically. As we've seen, Aguilar has no fear throwing the ball downfield. So I think Arkansas will score here, especially with Bobby P desperately trying to get this job. But I don't think Bobby P knows anything about defense. And so although I think they'll score, I don't think they'll score enough. And I like the Vols to cover here.
That might be fair.
Yeah, I actually almost picked Arkansas here just for the fact we saw what happens when a coaching change happens last week. You saw what UCLA did to Penn State. And, I don't know what Penn State has, but overall on paper, there was a heck of a lot better than UCLA, and they just laid an egg. Similar situation could happen in this game where, Arkansas gets fired up, playing under Var Petrino, and they pull an upset. But I just don't see that happening here because Tennessee offensively is really good. Defensively, they're atrocious, like Mike has mentioned. But I think they score enough and keep it within, keep it within, 14 points. But I do think Tennessee does win here and cover.
Okay.
All righty.
There's a big wild card in this game, and you guys have mentioned it, and the big wild card is Bobby Petrino.
Right.
And to some degree, I think Bobby Petrino was holding back a little bit in hopes that Sam Pittman would get fired and then he would take the head job, and then he could dip into his bag, because we all know that guy can coach offense. And
right.
So, and he wants that job. So I think over the next couple of weeks, he is going to be pulling out all kinds of craziness in terms of his play calling, in terms of, things they're installing during the week, trick plays, all sorts of stuff. So I think you're going to see it all in this game. And I think you're going to see it all going forward. But Arkansas is also turning the ball over.
Yep.
And I think that's the key. I think Arkansas is going to get a couple turnovers, which allows Tennessee to cover in this game. Both of these defense, Mike, you talked about it. These defenses are both pitiful, but Arkansas is the most pitiful. And so this Tennessee offense is going to be able to score. They've got the top passing offense in the SEC. This one to me feels like a game that Ole Miss and Arkansas played. I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago, where it was like 63 to 40 something or 63-35. It was just a lot of points scored, and I think that's probably what's going to happen here. I just think that Tennessee's too much. They're too talented. Arkansas just has a really bad defense. Tennessee's going to put up a ton of points. And so because of that, I think Tennessee at home is able to cover a 13.5-point spread.
The over in this game, 67.5. That's more than 10 points more than any other conference game this week.
Wow.
And I still think it hits the over.
I think it does.
Yeah.
And this game, I want to pick Arkansas to cover so bad, but I've picked upsets on every game's not going to be an upset. It just can't happen. And Arkansas's defense against Notre Dame I give that pause thinking about that, knowing that Bobby Petrino is going to pull out all the stops. We're going to see all the waggles and screen passes and all of that stuff that Bobby P is known for against Tennessee. But I don't know if it'll be enough. I don't know if they can slow down Joey Aguilar enough and Chris Brazel and those guys offensively. So give me the Volunteers to cover.
Let me say one other thing real quick, Corey, before you move on. Outside of the Notre Dame game last, a couple weeks ago, Arkansas was 2 fumbles away from being undefeated up to that point. So it's crazy to think about.
True.
Big what ifs.
Right.
Yeah. What if? Like that's just crazy how things just quickly deteriorated for Arkansas. But I mean, that's what happens.
I thought you were talking about Bill Belichick. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, Steve.
That's
Chapel
over.
Bill. Chapel Bill.
That's over.
Chapel
Yeah,
Bill.
I think Jordan become the new interim head coach is what I saw today.
Yeah, the Jordan rules.
Yeah.
Different Jordan. All right. Washington State, Ole Miss. I think we're all on Boss Man, that's too much of a spread, I guess, for you, Boss Man, right? We're all on Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm taking Wazoo to win straight up here. Spread's too big for me. I think Wazoo covers the spread, but I think Ole Miss gets a very comfortable win.
Got two stats that I want to point out. Washington State is averaging giving up 3 points per series against their defense. And the only time they played a team with comparable athletes was the Apple Cup. They played Washington. Washington averaged 10 yards per play almost.
I feel like that's going to be a pretty good stat for Ole Miss's offense to bode well for that. That's why I picked Ole Miss. They're going to destroy them. Wazoo's.
Yeah. I mean,
they are the Pac-12 leaders, okay?
Hey.
Yeah.
They are the cream of the Pac-12 conference right now.
Pac-12 minus 10.
Yeah.
No,
I hate picking the big spreads. I mean, you guys know that. If the spread's more than 25, I'm usually going with the underdog. But I did some diving into this one. The spread in this game's 33.5. In Lane Kiffin's last 10 games where he's been favored by 32 or more, he's 8-2 against the spread. So that's pretty good at covering the large spread games.
I'd say so.
That made me pick Ole Miss to cover this one.
But not this week.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And
Steve, you're making me feel terrible about my pick now.
And Steve, you talked about the team with the poll, so it was Washington, but they also played North Texas, who is very, very good. And North Texas killed them 59-10.
Yeah,
So,
that was a disaster game for Washington State. I wanted to put stock in that game, but they kept turning the ball over in the first half. It was 42-3 at halftime.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's bad. So we cleared the stage for our game.
Oh yes.
Of the week.
Yeah.
Jake got invited to do the pregame show here at this game. It's going to be game of the century from Amherst, Massachusetts. UMass taking on Kent State in an absolute barn burner.
I'm ready for
Game of the week. I don't care what the
this.
spread is.
Yep.
Give me the Minutemen.
Oh, I think it's 3. I think the last I saw was 2.5 Kent State.
I don't know. Just give me UMass.
Kent
It's
State
2.5 Kent State. Jake is right about that. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
where's the game at? It's in Amherst.
it's at Kent State, I believe.
Is it?
It is in Kent, Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dick
Okay.
City.
I told you it was in
All right.
Kent, Ohio. Jeez.
Yeah. So,
All right, give me the home team then.
Yeah. Go Kent State.
Yeah.
Them Golden Flashes.
Yeah, Nick
I'm
Saban went
also
to
on
Kent
Kent-
State, right? So they got still some of that.
UMass
need
is
it.
down to backup QB. I'm going Kent State.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Julian Edelman is playing for Kent State this week. I've heard, so
there you go.
Yeah.
just like Cam
James
Newton's playing
Harrison's
for
coming
Auburn.
back on deep. Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like the folks need to see what we're talking about here.
Right.
Yes.
To watch this game.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hope that's nationally televised. I know it's not going to be. But my God, I want to watch that so bad.
You're gonna have to buy like
Yeah.
6 different subscriptions.
Yeah, that one's not even ESPNU, it's ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
It's going to be in standard
plus.
definition.
Right. Yeah. 480 pixel.
Yeah, give me the golden.
That's
flash.
the game they should have waited for action when that game's on a Tuesday. It's the only way people are going to watch that one if it's midweek.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Screw that. I'm watching it this week. Screw Georgia Auburn. I'm watching that one.
Okay.
And I saw, I think starting tonight, there's going to be 49 straight days of football games. So let's go.
Until the Wednesday, the day before
Beautiful.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's
Most beautiful time of year, baby.
Yes.
Man, watching Tulane fall apart, man, in the red zone is kind of hilarious to watch.
It is. All right, let's get out of here.
I got to flip it on.
Let's get out of here. All right, Jake Thomas, the double dose, the double scoop, the double shot, whatever you want to call it, of Alabama, Bama After Dark, Tide Talk Live, both phenomenal shows. You should check both of those things out. Hammer and Boss Man from Biscuits and SEC and Biscuits and SEC Live, just absolutely crushing it. Mike Huseman, who is now going to be a weekly spot on Locked On Vandy from Off Season After Dark.
Awesome.
So he's absolutely killing it. He's going to be, I think we're going to record every Tuesday night. So that's going to be good. And then Stephen Willis.
And next week, Off Season After Dark, Western Kentucky episode, Topper Talk. Go follow him. They do great work there. And one of the better G5.
Yeah, I love it.
Baby.
Anybody out there listening from Hillwood, we're not talking about Hillwood. We're talking about Western Kentucky. Hillwood's the toppers, just so you know.
I haven't sent you a helmet because those helmet reveals for the Hilltoppers, those are awesome. Some of the best helmets in college football.
Go look at what my what I tweeted out from Locked On Vandy about Georgia Tech's uniform reveal. It's Georgia Tech is finally realizing their uniform potential, by the way. I love it and I hate it at the same time.
The ones this week are beautiful.
Yeah. And Stephen Willis, Locked On Ole Miss. I think you're up to what, 17,000?
16,000 something.
Okay, I'm getting there.
Yeah. Due time.
Yeah.
He's the most watched Ole Miss podcast by country mile and a half. So it's by 1 million and some change, and it's only growing, and it's only getting the gap's only getting wider. So, and then you can listen to me at Locked On Vandy. I'm at 945.
Subscribe to Locked On Vandy, everybody.
55 more. At least.
There you go.
And then you guys can just subscribe as slow as you want. But I need 50. Well, actually, I need 57 more to give me a little buffer for when like I lose one or two, like when they drop, when people drop in and out from like doing their temporary I subscribe for the week and then drop out type of scenario. So
people even do that.
Bama fans, dude. I think so. I think some Bama fans did that. Or
sorry about that.
They dropped in on me for a week. I think, or actually, one of them made a racist comment about Diego Pavia, so he probably got banned. So
yeah, I hope so.
But anyway, that being said, we all joined forces. SEC After Dark.
Why are we so crazy?
it's the SEC.
We don't have to live this way.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like the question was, well, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah.
It was about what his future is in Nashville. You could just connect the dots. But anyway, we come together. SEC After Dark. It's the greatest show ever. If you're missing out on us, you're truly missing out. We have a blast here, and it's a fun show. It's a fun network. And we'll come back at you next week, week 8. We'll talk about where we went wrong, why Becky's still beating us in picks, and all of that. And until next time, go Dogs, anchor down.
Hey, Toddy.
Roll Tide.
Jacob.